Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for Below Grade Level. Let's kick this into high gear. Hello and welcome to Below Grade Level, the show where we take the books that we read as kids and read them as adults and ruin them. I'm one of your hosts, Jonathan Eaton, and with me as always is Bekah Eaton.
Hello.
And Chris Zaleski.
Hello.
And our special guest for tonight's episode, returning champion, I love saying that, is Clint McElroy. How are you doing,
Yes,
Clint?
hi. Live long and prosper. Well, I figure we're talking about aliens. So.
Oh, absolutely. All sci-fi all the time when we're doing Animorphs.
So many different types of aliens.
There's too many different kinds.
I can't wait to learn whatever the tornado monster is called.
Oh, God.
I just assume it's an alien.
I assume so, too. It's got some sort of weird name.
Yeah.
Clint, welcome back to the show. How are you doing?
Thank you. Doing fine. Doing really good. Keeping busy. Much busier than my fellow retirees. Doing really good. Everything is great here in the heartland of the United States.
Yeah. Are you ready to dive into some absolutely body horror children's book with us?
Yeah, that brings me to a quick question.
Absolutely.
I know we want to get to it, but
yeah.
I'm very familiar with Animorphs. I mean, my kids all read all the Animorphs books. What age group is this?
That's an excellent
Such a good
question, and
design
I'm glad
for-
that you asked. So I don't remember where in the series this is, but when I looked it up, there's a billion of these books, but the age range only spans like 14 to 18.
Oh.
Like the kids in the book
Oh,
are
yeah.
like age up like 4 years over
Yeah.
the course of like 200 fucking books.
Okay.
So I want to believe that they're in their late teens,
Yeah.
just because reading about young teens feels weird.
Mhm.
Let's say 15 to 16. You
Okay.
know, they might be 16.
Of the
So
characters.
think.
still
The
not
characters.
still not as horny as Scavenger Hunt
Correct.
that we did last
God,
time.
No.
Okay.
And like,
But a little, we thought it was going there when, or at least I did, when Marco turned into a mouse to go crawl around a pool party. But
Yeah.
then all he did was like listen to gossip,
But
and,
then
like,
you
scare
also
girls, yeah.
which
You
is very
also
different
had-
if it was a Christopher Pike book. It would have gone very differently.
And it would have been his sister.
where you also have one of the characters described as having a model's body.
Yeah.
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 That was Rachel,
Okay.
right?
I
But
did
that's
not care
okay.
for that.
It's not still
Yeah. When
Not
we were
as-
reading that, it
not
didn't
as
feel
horny
great.
as Christopher Pike.
Nothing could be.
Which before we get into
I've seen
Animorphs,
Porto's tamer than Christopher
oh
Pike.
my God. We've talked about this a couple of times, specifically on the rest of the Scavenger Hunt episodes. But now that you're back on the show, it is hilarious that you read that entire book and then did
On a
that
flight to Germany, no less.
and then read, I think, just 2 chapters with us, and like sat on the information that they were dinosaurs
And also brother and sister,
brother
kind
and
of.
sister dinosaurs.
Didn't want to spoil it for you,
Make
but
out
yeah.
ice cream scene.
The make out ice cream
Oh.
scene.
Every time something like that happened, we were like, Clint knew the whole fucking time and he didn't tell us anything.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the key to being a good storyteller.
Yeah, when they broke the kid in the wheelchair's neck and shoved him into like
Jesus
a
Christ.
primordial ooze pool, we're
Yeah.
like, Clint knew the whole
He
time.
knew.
Have fun, kids. Have fun.
Usually, I think the only person with background information on books we've read was when we would have Christine on for Sweet Valley.
Yes,
Because
and-
she remembered so much of those.
And she'd read like all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the only other person that ever knew what was going to happen in a book while
think
we
so.
were reading a book.
I know Huey, we read part of Night of the Living Dummy with Huey, and
Yeah.
he, I think, was remembering something from one of the sequels.
Yeah.
That didn't happen in that book. And we tried to get you back, I think, for the last episode of Scavenger Hunt, because that Christopher Pike books are so long, and they take us forever to read because they're so insane that we can't, I think our
you
brains...
can't
Yeah.
let it pass.
You can't
Yeah.
let it pass. And then we tried to get you back for the last episode, and I think we had a scheduling conflict. So I'm happy to have you back for a different kind of horrific.
It's good to be here. Good to be here.
And then the only other thing I wanted to say, you mentioned your kids reading Animorphs. It's very funny because I think we had just started reading this book, or we were planning to read it, and then Bekah and I were listening to like a very, I think, recent episode of My Brother and Me.
Yeah.
and they talked about Animorphs, and I was like, oh my god, it's a synchronicity thing going on again.
And we just wrapped up Taz Abnormals.
And Abnormals, yes.
At least Animorphs adjacent. Has to be.
It has to be. I mean, the whole animals fighting, that's a very 90s craze thing.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Turtles, hamsters,
Animal hybrids.
biker mice from Mars.
Oh, man.
I remember Biker Mice from Mars.
I do not, actually.
Street Sharks.
Street Sharks.
Street Sharks, good
Yeah.
one. Good pull. Good pull,
They
Chris.
swam through asphalt.
I
I'm
remember
not
one
making
night
that
we
up.
just kept looking up street sharks and being like, wow, that was real. I kept thinking
Yeah.
Chris was making stuff up and
Yeah.
was just being hilarious, but they were just real street sharks.
Every couple of months, Chris will bring up Street Sharks, and it sounds like he's making everything up. Including
You
the
need
Vin
to
Diesel
believe.
commercial.
Believe in
One wore
Chris.
cowboy boots.
How do they... Why do they...
We can't get into this.
Okay, we can't get into Street Sharks. Becca, what happened last time on Animorphs?
Last time
colon
on
Megamorphs.
the Andalite's gift.
Yes.
Let's see. Last time was chaos.
Yes.
Because we had to hear in person and had too much fun, and it took a long time before I wrote down anything that was useful information.
Well, that comes to an end tonight.
Now we are all business.
Fun
That
over.
fun is over. We are going to Crystal Lake, Wally, and you and the beaver are going to have a good time. Ward was a hard ass.
Okay,
I didn't know
Rachel.
Leave It to
It was
Beaver
the 50s.
crossed over with Friday the 13th.
Does now.
So Rachel is fleeing the scene of the Ben and Jerry's truck accident, I believe. And she finds a shack in the woods where there's clothing outside and there's a limited shirt. Which is a very dated reference, which was wonderful. I don't even know if they still are around, but
I honestly have no idea, yeah.
there's a shabby woman in layers, described as, and a shack full of clothing, like all hung up and stuff. And the woman kept shambling around saying, if you'd like to return an item, you'll need a receipt.
Oh my god.
And kept saying something about them returning. Rachel barely has any memory at all. I don't think she knows who she is. She doesn't know what's going on or where she is. But she did manage to morph back into human form, so she's not stuck as like a half-bird abomination.
I kind of wish she was, though.
The woman attacks her and throws her through a trapdoor in the floor, which I remember thinking was very Evil Dead 2. There's a Yeerk pool down there, and the crazy lady, I don't remember how we knew this, but the crazy lady had fed her husband and children to the Yeerks, and possibly has a dead Yeerk in her head, and maybe that's why she's kind of going through the motions. I guess she worked in the mall, and I don't know I don't know if she's just capturing victims in the woods and then hanging up their clothes like she's working in a limited store.
Yeah.
And then the dust monster shows up when Marco and everyone shifts into wolves. I can't remember why they were doing that.
I think it was
Why
just
were they
because,
being
like,
wolves?
they could
To look for
run
Rachel?
fast
To-
and, like,
okay.
smell.
Yeah, they saw
were they-
Rachel on the taped newscast of the crash.
Oh,
yeah,
God,
that's right.
thank you. I'm
remember stuff.
getting bad at notes. I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, because that was the model's body line. Was when they,
Yeah.
Well, that's her. Look,
Recognize
she's
her
got a
model's
model's
body.
body.
Who's that babe in the spandex who looks confused?
Whoa, it's Rachel.
Hold on, let me write that note for myself.
Real
If
quick,
Overboard
just-
taught me anything.
I only have
it's
one
that
more note to
yeah,
say.
one more note.
Amnesia is a recipe for romance.
Okay, so the dust monster shows up when they shift,
Yeah.
so that's a thing. And then the chapter ended with the crazy lady setting the house on fire.
Yes. The thing I just thought of as you were recapping and said that, like, the Yeerk in her brain probably died, the crazy lady. It just made me think of that Futurama when Fry had a brain slug on, but then, like, it just fell off, and they're like, "What happened?" And then they're like, "Oh, poor little thing starved to death because Fry's so stupid."
Which was actually a reference to Robert Heinlein's Puppet Masters. If you've ever read Puppet
Oh.
Masters,
Really?
yeah, that was where there was a slug that got into people's brains and took over.
There was
and-
like a bad 90s movie made of that, I think. It was like a TV
Might have been.
movie.
Might have been. Yeah.
I was going to ask if it was related to Puppet Master, but I thought I've never seen Puppet Master, the horror movie, but there's also like 5 of them. But I always I see
this was Puppet Masters.
Yeah.
So it's a little. I don't know what the movie title.
The movie's like Evil Puppets. Because I remember seeing the...
Don't look at me.
I know.
Puppet Masters was a 90s movie. I'm vividly remembering it now.
That's different from what I'm talking about?
Yeah. But it was like, they kind of looked like little manta rays that attached to people's backs and took them over.
Oh.
Yeah. They were slugs in the original Heinlein. If you ever get a chance to read it, can't go wrong with Heinlein.
Interesting. Well, I'm not surprised that Futurama loves referencing, or at least old Futurama loves referencing classic sci-fi. Not a huge fan of new Futurama, which just references current events.
Yeah, I don't like knowing about current events.
Well,
it's too unavoidable.
I know. Let's get into Animorphs. Megamorphs number 1, the Andalite's Gift, chapter 13. This is a Marco chapter. I love reading Marco. Tobias came shooting down toward us. He wanted to make sure we knew. It's coming. I was halfway into Morph. Could I use Thought Speak yet? I decided to try. We hear you, Tobias. I can see it. Jake. Finish morphing, Jake yelled in my head. Better to face this thing as wolves. I was trembling with fear. I had faced this thing once already that day. I wasn't interested in facing it twice. But Jake was right. Better to fight as a wolf than as a human. Or a mouse. Which is what you were the first time.
Also just picturing a wolf biting a dust cloud.
Made of razor blades.
And mouths.
Oh, you just wait.
Have you read ahead?
That's my favorite quote. Well, you'll see. Well, you know I'm not going to give you spoilers.
Oh, my God.
He said he read a little bit of it. He read the whole dang thing.
I read every other page. How's that? And it still made sense.
Oh, boy.
That sounds about right, actually.
Yeah, it does. I was on all fours. I could feel the wolf's strength. I could sense the intelligence and instincts of the wolf's brain.
Do you think he's smarter as a wolf than as Marco?
Definitely 100% he is.
I bet Cassie makes that joke at some point. I feel like me and Cassie are on the same wavelength. We're the mom friend.
Oh, God. All the wolf's incredible senses were mine. But when I looked up to see the beast forming, I knew the wolf wasn't nearly enough. No animal morph could fight this thing. Look at it! I cried. Yeah, Jake said. He was trying to sound brave, but Jake's been my friend for many years, and I know when he's scared. He was scared plenty. Here it comes! The beast of 100 mouths and 100 whirling blades came for us. Again, biblically accurate angel.
Be not afraid.
There were treetops in the way. The beast shredded them. Still don't understand what that's supposed to actually sound like.
I don't know.
It's the Inception noise.
Oh.
Or I guess it started with Tom Cruise War of the Worlds.
The
Yeah.
But that's a bois.
Well, they didn't know how to spell it yet back then.
They didn't know how to spell it.
This is the Yugoslavian pronunciation.
It's the Inception noise, but it's Eastern European.
But I think it's kind of flavored with a wood chipper. Because it is a bunch of blades chopping down a bunch of giant trees.
Yeah. We ran. It could have been stupid to do anything. It would have been stupid to do anything else. My powerful wolf's jaws were nothing to this beast. I ran, and I ran fast. I ran so far away. Wolves.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Another animal. Seagulls.
Wolves have pretty good speed and incredible endurance. A wolf can run for hours, all day if necessary. But I didn't think I would get the chance to run that long.
I also love in this series that on a page, whenever they're in an animal form, they say the name of the animal as many times as possible.
Yeah. Lest you forget.
Yes.
All right, Chris, I'm going to need you to help me making that brack sound, because you know I'm not doing it.
I don't know if it'll come through Zoom.
May I volunteer?
Yes,
yes, please.
Please.
Yes.
I
mean, after the graphic novels, I'm kind of a sound effects guy.
Yeah, perfect. The beast dropped to just a few feet above the ground, leveled off, and came after us. The trees were close together, too tight for the beast to fit through, so it simply shredded anything in its way. The noise was shocking. I ran. I leapt over fallen logs. I dodged around trees. I counted on my rough gray coat to protect me as I ripped straight through thorn bushes. The beast ripped a path 50 feet wide through the forest. It was like some nightmare lumberjack. It reduced trees to twigs and splinters in seconds. Wood shrapnel flew everywhere. It's gaining, I said to Jake. Little by little, it's gaining. It sounds more than little by little.
It sounds like it's getting a lot.
It sounds like a tornado.
Yeah.
The trees, it destroys them, but they slow it down just enough. I don't know who said that.
Probably Jake.
More trees! Thicker trees! I yelled. I looked wildly around at a world washed pale by the wolf's poor color vision.
That's too many W's.
I can't believe I got through it.
God, I feel like I'm listening
nailed
to
it.
Tom Hanks on The Americas.
There were trees everywhere. Too many. I didn't know which way the forest grew denser and which way it might thin out. But the wolf knew. The wolf's own instincts led the way. It feels like they're summoning a real animal from somewhere. Like some
this wolf I
poor
know?
wolf was teleported into
Yeah.
Marco's stupid body and brain. Jake and I both felt it, I guess, because we began turning north.
Well, yeah, it's like... Oh my god. It's kind of like Severance. Like, what happens to the wolf brain when they stop? Like, okay, so if they morph into a wolf once,
Yeah.
is it like Severance where, like, that wolf is its first day alive, and then they morph back into a human, and then the next
wolf
time they...
just disappears.
And then the next time they morph into a wolf, he wakes up again, he's like, oh my god, the last thing I remember was completely different from this.
Yeah.
That's how I choose to believe that this is happening.
And is it that same animal that they touch when they first imprint on it or whatever it's called, learn how to be the animal?
Oh.
Because they have to touch the animal to be able to be the animal. So is it just that same wolf forever?
And, like, if all of
But then
them
the
are
wolf's
wolves,
gonna die
it's just all the
eventually.
same wolf, and he's looking at himself, he's like, what the fuck?
Wow, we made this more horrible somehow.
Well, you know when you see like one of your pets staring off in the distance looking like they're having an existential crisis, it's because
Yeah.
several Animorphs have touched them.
There you go.
I'm seeing myself through so many pairs of eyes right now.
Oh no.
The trees grew thicker, and there were more of them. The beast chewed its way after us, but it was no longer gaining. It was not falling behind either. Jake, Marco, what are you doing? Tobias yelled. Heading for denser woods, Jake said. Maybe it'll slow this thing down. It's getting thicker up ahead, Tobias agreed, but you better hope it wears out soon. Why? I said, other than the obvious reason.
Because you have a quarter mile of woods, and then it opens up into a meadow, Tobias said. Open grass. Jake and I said nothing. We didn't have to. We both knew if the beast didn't tire out before we came out into open country, it would catch us, and it didn't seem tired. Just then, as terrified as I was, I smelled something that set off deeper alarm bells in the wolf's mind. Smoke. Yeah. There was a fire not far away, and to my acute wolf's ears came the faintest sound of human voice screaming. Just as if the beast had heard the same faint cry, I saw the monster shudder. It hesitated. Jake, look! The beast wavered and slowed. I could see the meadow through the trees, the meadow where we would surely die. Except that now the beast was wavering. Suddenly it turned away. It turned toward the place that smelled of fire and smoke.
A head shop.
I can't remember. What's the name of the Andalite they're friends with?
Axe.
Axe. Okay,
His name's
okay.
like Axamadabago,
Yeah.
and they're like, I'll call you
Axe
Axe.
works.
And I know that was just a half page, but I'm excited to hear Clint read, so...
Arg! I cried. I was in a shower of flames as bits of wood and fabric fell around me. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't see, but I could hear an insane grinding noise from deep within my own body, and I knew that I was changing. In all my despair, I could feel the power flowing through me. Awesome power, but was it enough? I waited as long as I could. I wasn't done changing, but the heat was too great. And the thing that I was becoming hated the fire. A sudden surge of muscles, a forward rush.
Is she becoming
I
Frankenstein?
slammed into the half-rotted logs. Grrr! Said the captain. The logs broke from the force of my huge body. My huge model's body. The logs that had imprisoned me were mere sticks now. I hurtled through them and away from the burning shack. At that moment, the shack collapsed on itself in an explosion of sparks. I stood panting. I stood on 4 legs. I looked down and saw 4 paws where my hands should have been.
Is she a bear?
Front paws. I'm sorry. If you look down, I saw 4. Okay. I saw 4 front paws where my hands should have been. My paws were covered in coarse brown fur. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Very shaggy. Very shaggy. And I had long, sharp black claws.
Yes.
Flash! Bear on his hind legs, roaring and swinging his mighty paws. Creatures all around like walking razor blades. They came for the bear. They came for me. Yes, I thought. Grizzly bear. That was it. I'd become a bear. Was still becoming a bear. Because the morphing is not completely done.
Oh my god. This is crazy.
Which parts of her are bear and which parts of her are teenage?
I think
model
she's
body?
all bear,
She's all bear, baby.
but with Rachel's hair. Cut in, of course, the Rachel.
Is she? I also choose to believe that it's a bear wearing ripped limited clothing, the way that like Hulk does. What am I? I shouted, but the sound that came from my mouth was not human.
Come on, big boy. Come on. Come on, Mr. Voice.
Oh, I think Zoom might have muted that for you.
Oh.
What kind of creature was I? How could I? You just said a bear. How could I do this? How could I become a different animal? It was insane. Insane!
Thank you, Amnesia.
Maybe it was that simple. Maybe I was as insane as the woman who had burned down her shack to kill me for being a yerk. Was that it? Was I a yerk? What was a yerk? Oh, great question. Suddenly, I heard a wild rush of wind. Not from the burning, crumbling cabin, from above. Up in the air, I looked up, but my human eyes were changing to bear eyes and I couldn't see very well. I only saw a large shadow hovering above me. Do bears not have good eyes?
I don't know. I think they would.
I would
but
assume
maybe
they
not.
would have good eyes.
I've never seen one with glasses.
Just because I look like Grizzly Adams doesn't mean I know a lot about
Yeah.
bears.
I'm so sorry. That's so rude of me.
Yeah. Very insensitive.
Bear eyes. Where am I?
I do know they have a healing factor like Wolverine.
What? Bears?
Yeah, like they can get gashed and during hibernation it can completely heal with no scar tissue and the hair grows back.
What? And scientists haven't used their blood to do
One
things?
little bump of evolution and we're fucked.
Oh, God.
Here's my question.
Yeah.
On Grizzly Adams, the name of the bear, do you know the name of the bear?
I've never actually seen it.
Ben.
Ben?
Was it the same bear from Gentle
Ben? That's what I'm wondering.
We need to call Clint Howard.
We need
Teresa,
another
don't-
Clint involved.
That's it. Yeah.
All right, Clint Howard, if you're listening to this, write to
Clint,
podcast.
call me. You got my number. Get it from Ron.
All Clints know each other, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Eastwood was telling me the other day. He said, do you ever hear from Walker? No. That's too old a reference.
And then he was like gesturing at an empty chair. It was weird. I only saw a large shadow hovering above me. A flash of swift movement. It was attacking. The last of my human body was gone. Oh, there goes her hair. And now I felt the full force of the grizzly bear's own mind. It was unafraid. And more than that, it was angry. Awesome. No one attacked a grizzly. Not if they wanted to live. That's true.
I had amnesia, but I remembered that.
Yeah.
I reared up on my hind legs. I must have been 10 feet tall, and I knew I was mighty. You guys aren't going to hear this because Zoom's going to cut me out. It was a really long one.
I heard that
was
build
good.
up.
Good.
We got the
roared.
huh.
You get the
Apparently
huh.
the row.
Well, that was the all caps part. I swung my massive paw.
Zoom doesn't pick up all caps.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Zoom is awesome, but not when it comes to all caps. I swung my massive paw at the hovering beast, but then, a second flash of movement. Another animal racing swiftly toward us. Rachel! Rachel, is that you? A voice demanded, a voice I did not truly hear except inside my head. And it
So
was
are you going with
super
Dudley
annoying.
Do-Right or Underdog there? There's no need to fear.
Kind of like Marvin
It is
the
very
Martian
Underdog.
playing Chandler from Friends.
Oh, there you go. There
Oh,
you go. Yeah.
God.
That's a good
perfect.
interpretation.
Could I be any more sarcastic?
Could I morph any harder? I looked at the new creature. It had come to a stop just a dozen feet away. I peered at it with my dim, bare vision. It had
That's
four.
racist.
I need to Google after this.
I'm
There's-
taking care of that.
Okay, good.
I'm getting
It had 4 legs like a horse or a deer, but it seemed to have a head and upper body that was almost human. Oh, it's an Andalite.
Oh, axe.
And there was a tail. I was sure of that. The tail was cocked back like a weapon ready to be fired.
Oh, yeah, it's like a scorpion tail.
Yeah, they're so weird looking. For a frozen moment of time, we all 3 waited. Me, the beast in the air, and this new apparition. Here.
By the way, bears have excellent eyesight.
Yeah, I would
Their
think
vision
so.
is comparable to humans during the day, and they have excellent night vision. They see in color.
They have,
Do
they
your
have-
research, K.A. Applegate.
right?
Yeah.
They have dark vision.
Yeah.
I would assume they would have good vision because they're always, like, catching salmon out of the air. You
Yeah.
can't do that if you can't see.
And campers.
Yeah.
They could spot a cooler from 20 yards away.
Rachel, is that you in Morph? It's me, Axe. Rachel, I asked silently, is that my name? And then the beast made of dust attacked.
Dust.
Chapter 15, Axe. Oh no, I have to say his name. I don't like that.
Oh, the full name?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
this
good
is our
luck.
first Axe chapter.
I think so.
My name is Aximili Esgaruth Isthil. Okay. that wasn't
So
too
he's
bad.
a snail. Okay. I gotcha.
I am an Andalite. It was my brother, Prince Elfangor, who gave the humans the power to morph. I forgot about Elfangor.
Elfangor.
which
That's
is
a much
so
easier name to
silly.
say.
Maybe he was the older brother. He had been, or the younger brother, and they were like, we can't fucking name him Aximili. We gotta make this easier.
There's too many consonants.
He had been injured trying to drive the Yeerks away from Earth. And when he crash-landed his fighter, it was Jake, Rachel, Tobias, Cassie, and Marco who found him. It was Visser 3 who killed my brother, so my human friends have told me. Someday I will avenge that death. I must kill Visser 3 or be dishonored. Later, Jake and the others found me.
So he has Drax's backstory.
Yeah. Later, Jake and the others found me. I was the last surviving Andalite from our great Dome ship. Dome, the D was capitalized. I don't
Okay.
know. I am not one of the Animorphs, but I fight alongside them against our common enemy, the Yeerks. And this, we mentioned this the last time, I think.
Mm-hmm.
This is the downside of the changing perspective, is that we get new exposition every single time
Yeah.
it
And
changes. We're on chapter 15.
which I don't know why, because, like, we're the same people reading this book.
Yeah.
Well, listen, that brings up what I think, and this is one time I'm going to be serious. One of the beauties of her writing is by using these different perspectives, which, in like Game of Thrones, the books, they change the perspective. But she gets to do a Rashomon thing here because a
Yeah.
lot of these chapters repeat the same action from a previous scene.
Yeah.
And that happened that way. You can have like 20 scenes in the book, but 60 chapters or whatever it ends up being. But I mean, it's really kind of, it shows how, she is able, I'm not saying padding, but I think it kind of lends itself to that kind of story.
I do love a good Rashomon.
Yeah.
Who doesn't?
Oh.
I mean,
When a TV show is a Rashomon episode, I'm like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
And it is letting characters get to tell their own backstory instead of like Marco being quippy, like, let me tell you about these stupid Andalites or
He's
whatever.
got a
I don't know.
tail.
They
Yeah.
look like
Let me
deer
tell you-
anyway. Let's move on.
Let me tell you about these skirts I was looking up earlier.
Yeah.
Well, man.
Yeah.
There's a decent, with all of these books for, like, teens and preteens, there's always, no matter how good the writing is, there's always padding. I feel like there's always a degree of padding. But yeah, we haven't read too much Animorphs, but I feel like K.A. Applegate is like a few steps above some of the other authors that we've read.
They're usually nonstop crazy. That's why it just feels weird. Like, oh, we're still recapping some stuff now.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to hear it from his perspective. Also because have we read 2 Animorphs books or 3 before this?
This is the third.
This is the third, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
and we haven't done an Axe book, so I'm excited that we get an Axe chapter because we've never done his perspective.
Well, we accidentally read
accidentally.
Uh-oh. We accidentally read 2 Rachel books. So we've never read anyone else's perspective. So it's been very refreshing to get literally everyone else's perspective.
Literally anyone.
Yeah.
Okay. But I fight alongside them against our common enemy, the Yeerks, and while I am on Earth, I have taken Jake for my prince. I have gone along with Marco on his foolish venture.
I'm sorry. What does that mean?
Well, he has been calling him Prince Jake.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, that's right.
He's the most noble of the humans, I guess. I don't know. Tobias is pretty cool, but he's a hawk, so.
He's a hawk.
He's out of the question.
Not much he can do other than flap and talon.
Yeah. I had gone along with Marco on his foolish venture to the home of the human named Darlene. I knew it was foolish, but I thought it would be better for Marco to have someone with him.
Also, the Flap and Talon sounds like a D&D tavern.
Flap and Talon.
It does! We need to write that down.
Yeah. You have a notes app on your phone.
Notes app.
18 people highlighted this next part. Marco is highly intelligent, but he is also very afflicted by a condition the humans call sense of humor. I have noticed that Marco's sense of humor sometimes makes him do strange things.
They do keep talking about how smart Marco is, and I'm like, is he?
Yeah, is he? But when the great beast from the sky appeared, I was powerless. Later, the humans asked me for answers. Did I know what this beast was? The humans assumed that I must know every terrible thing that lives in this vast galaxy. But I did not know this creature, and it frightened me. We need to find an Axe book to read.
Yeah.
When we set off to find Rachel, I traveled through the woods. I live in the forest now. It is my new home. I ran steadily.
As of now or before this? I'm confused.
Probably before.
Was he just like, I'll stay here, guys?
Wait, so I feel like this actually sounds a little familiar. Does Axe and Tobias live together in the woods?
I don't remember that.
I'd watch that sitcom.
Hell yeah.
I would too.
Yeah, with cousin Balky. Yeah.
And the crazy shack lady running a limiter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She'd be the wacky neighbor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just Diane. A year died in her brain.
Yeah.
It is my new home. I ran steadily to reach the place where I was to meet up with Tobias, Jake, and Marco. Then I detected the smoke. I looked up and saw a pillar of smoke rising through the trees. Bit of a redundant sentence. My eyes swept around me, checking every direction. I must always be very careful not to be seen by humans. One stalk eye followed the pillar of smoke into the sky, and then I saw not smoke, but dust. Dust that blew faster than any wind. The beast! It was coming again. I ran, faster than before, with all my speed. It had to be looking for me. It had come to hunt me down. I was sure of it. Where should I run? Not toward where Jake and Marco were supposed to be. I could not lead the beast to them, but the fire. Maybe the smoke would hide me. Yes! I raced toward the smell of smoke. My hooves flashed. My tail was tucked down tight against my back for speed. I saw a small clearing, and in the clearing, a pillar of flame. A building of some sort. It was burning rapidly. The heat blasted me. I could hear the noise of dry wood snapping and popping, flames sucking at the air. But there was a greater noise. The beast! Above me, above the fire, it swirled and roared like a storm. Then I saw another creature. It was an earth animal called a grizzly bear. They have dim vision. It reared up on its hind legs and bellowed defiance, but that mighty voice was swallowed up in the hurricane howl of the dust beast. A grizzly bear. Rachel had a grizzly bear morph. I had seen her use it. It had to be her. Rachel! Rachel, is that you?
Yes, Ross. The huge bear. The huge bear swung its massive head to glare at me, but there was no thought-speak answer. Rachel, is that you and Morph? It's me, Axe. Rachel, is that my name? Suddenly, the dust beast attacked. In a rush of hurricane winds, it descended on Rachel. Not on me, but on Rachel. It was her the beast wanted. She stood firm, unafraid. Rachel, I cried, run, you can't fight it. The beast of 100 gnashing mouths descended on the beasts. The bear swung a massive paw. It was a blow that would have knocked my head from my shoulders. A blow that would have punched through steel.
Almost knocked it.
Almost knocked it with a ganache. Not a ganache. The claws raked the dust beast's closest mouth. The bear cried in sudden pain. Here you go. Here you go, Chris. Its paw was gone.
What?
Simply gone. In its place was a shattered, bloody stump.
What?
Is Rachel gonna lose her hand?
Oh,
What could I
She
do?
morphs, she heals.
I was desperate. My tail was my only weapon, but the creature would simply grind it off as he'd done with Rachel's paw.
grind it off.
Rachel bellowed in pain from her awful wound, but she struck again, still standing erect and defiant. She struck again with her other paw.
Didn't you learn your lesson?
Jesus.
This time the entire leg was gone.
Jesus
Oh my God,
Christ!
these books are horrifying.
And now I could see human terror shining through the bear's eyes. Well, no shit.
And mine.
No shit, Yogi.
God damn it.
Rachel, I cried in despair. My Andalite tail was useless. I needed something else, anything. I searched my memory. What morph did I have to fight this monster? Nothing. Rachel's bear was
Like
one
a
of the
dragon
mightiest
made
morphs
of
we
steel.
had. Yeah.
A dragon
I
made of
called up-
titanium.
An airplane.
I called up my T-Rex.
Yeah.
Rachel's bear was one of the mightiest morphs we had, and she was doomed. There's nothing left now but to escape.
My God. Oh, I forgot how gruesome these books are.
For kids.
It took her leg off.
Both 2 legs.
Yeah. No, not to escape, to follow this creature, to find where it hid, to find where it came from. I had an earth bird morph. It was called a harrier. Jet. No. It was very fast. I could morph and perhaps be able to follow this monster, because one thing was certain. I could not save Rachel. Oh God, I'm just gonna leave her to die.
Get ready.
The dust beast descended on Rachel. It enveloped her completely. I could no longer see her. It was as if a cloud was swallowing her up. The bear shifted and flowed and reformed. The beast shifted. Beast and bear are
Yeah,
two
two-
similar looking words.
Let's go with Ursine from now on.
The beast shifted and flowed and reformed to engulf the raging ursine that was my human friend Rachel. Shaking with fury and horror, I began to morph, and suddenly, with a speed that was shocking, the dust beast stopped. It lifted away from Rachel. It exploded upward, away from her, and came at me, right at me. And in the few seconds left to me, I realized the morphing! It was the morphing! We figured that out two episodes ago. That's what it was after. It was reacting to the morphing. It was the morphing energy itself that drew the beast. The morphing. Guys, it was the morphing.
We're with you, Axe.
And
That's
it's
why I'm
dripping
wearing the-
away. It's a
I'm wearing
morphing
the I'm
drip.
right glasses,
There you go.
which started in the first book that we read with Clint.
Oh, that's right. Chris guessed that they were dinosaurs like 2 chapters or 2 episodes before we found out that they were dinosaurs.
And we were like, no, they're fucking not, Chris.
They're
not
yeah.
dinosaurs, Chris.
We were really mean
so
about it. We were
stupid,
like,
Chris.
that's definitely not. That's insane. They're not dinosaurs. Why would they be
You're
dinosaurs?
not going to have dinosaurs making out incestually.
Why would they be dinosaurs? They look like
Who could
humans.
think of such a thing?
And then they were dinosaurs, and then Chris put his gloating glasses on. It lifted from Rachel. I had a flash of her ursine body wrapped
Thank
in
you, because
living...
bear body has a whole nother
I had a flash of her bare body.
bear model body.
Wrapped in living... Ew. Wrapped in living ropes? Ugh, what?
Oh, is she just being shredded?
The beast had not killed her. It had wrapped her up as if it was wrapping a gift. The living ropes...
With blades and mouths.
The worst fucking, gift wrap station ever.
It
You want a ribbon with
incapacitated her.
Do you want a ribbon with that?
It incapacitated her, and now it's taking it back to,
It's like a spider.
Visser
Like
fuckface and for interrogation.
It's doing it. It's like Shelob with Frodo, and it's like wrapping him up. The living ropes dissolved to rejoin the dust beast and become part of it. A living. I need more than living the quote living ropes.
I
Snakes?
would like a lot less.
'Cause this-
I'm fine with the amount of information
Well,
I have.
they're dust now, so
100 mouths and 1,000 whirling blades descended on me. Now it was after me, and I knew that if I struck it with my tail, it would leave me with a bloody stump.
oh, that's not good.
Ugh. I could not fight it. To fight was to be shredded. I stood still. I reversed the morph and regained my complete Andalite form. I felt the beast around me. It suffocated me. It choked me. It wrapped me tightly in a cocoon till I could not move an inch. I felt myself being lifted up from the ground, up and up, faster and faster, unable to see, able only to hear the wild winds of the beast itself.
But now I understood. I knew where it was taking me. I knew the purpose of the beast. And with a fear that chilled me to my bones, I realized that I knew its master's name. But now we're in a Jake chapter, so we won't find out for a while.
But I bet you're right.
Me?
Yeah. Aren't you the one
Wait,
that
about
said
what?
It was gonna take her to Visser 3?
No.
I said that.
Chris said that? God damn
I mean,
it.
I get your confusion. Me and Bekah sound so
I
much
know.
alike.
We look so much alike, too.
Get those glasses ready.
I think I'm just tired of Chris being right.
Yeah.
I wanted it to not
appreciate
be
the
him
gesture.
for once.
I've
about
never
how
been
tired
right
I
I think,
am.
one single time.
Oh, it's such a burden.
You were gloating in the last book.
I was gloating so hard because I'm never right.
Thing is, you have a pair of these. No, you don't have a pair of
No,
these.
we don't have a pair of those.
But you have the Kid Midas glasses.
Yeah,
the Kid
we have
Midas
those
glasses.
silly glasses. I don't know where they are.
There's a pair.
Amazon, do you still have those flashing? Oh, okay. I know what to do for Christmas.
Chapter 16, Jake. My wolf nose told me a story.
Once upon a time, I was in the middle of a face.
It sniffed me a story. The stench of burning wood was everywhere, but I could still smell blood. Something had sprayed blood over a wide area. A bear. I smelled the powerful scent of a bear. I sniffed the ground again. Human, 2 different humans, and something else. A strange alien smell. A smell like nothing I could imagine. Until I looked at the tracks. Sharp hoof marks. Axe. Axe had been here. He doesn't know what his own friend smells like. I mean, as a human, you probably
Not as a
wouldn't, but as a
wolf.
wolf, he should know what Axe smells
He
like.
should. He
Just
smells like
rude.
Axe body spray.
No. He's too refined for that.
Oh,
no,
that would
not
now. Come
Axe.
on, we got to give him some credit for that.
That
That was
good.
good.
I liked it. My mic was muted at the time, so you
5
didn't hear
comedy
my...
points.
2 humans, one wearing shoes, one barefoot, a bear, axe,
Barefoot?
blood, a fire, still smoldering.
You should have stopped while you were ahead.
Keep
I
it
will
up, Jonathan.
never
You're
stop
gonna
while
end
I'm
up
ahead.
I was
divorced.
just gonna try not to make eye contact with you. What do you make of it? I asked Marco. The barefoot person had to be Rachel. So was the bear. It had to be her. There are no grizzlies in this forest. And the blood, that's hers too. Or the bear's anyway. So she was hurt bad. I swallowed anger and fear. I had to stay focused. What can hurt a grizzly? I asked, knowing the answer. A man with a gun, Marco said. He's a fucking idiot. Another grizzly. Or some
So
animal that
smart.
isn't from Earth. Or, like, maybe that blade tornado
The blade
you
tornado,
saw.
yeah.
Probably that. No Earth animal can mess with a grizzly bear.
A
It was
Kodiak
that
shark.
thing, I said. Huh?
A shark?
A
A
Kodiak.
forest shark.
An orca,
An orca?
Yeah,
A forest
orca.
orca.
Fuck a bear up.
a tick.
should be what they do. Just turn into a little tick.
Now you have Lyme disease, bear.
Bounce back from that, bear.
Yeah. Tobias swooped down low and slow. Bear tracks head north. I see tracks, but they're weird. Hind legs only. Like the bear was walking erect.
Which is not easy to do,
So was she just running around with stump paws, like no paws, running around on her hind legs as a bear just like bleeding everywhere?
One bear
arms flailing.
took the paw off.
Yeah.
One
arm
bear
with the
arm
paw,
took the
one arm gone.
off. Yeah. So it's just a bear. We're like, oh!
Trying to keep her balance and spraying blood.
That would be the scariest thing that you could see.
Worse than Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
That was a fun movie.
It was.
Oh my god. That broke my brain.
I thought the beast took the bear, did it not?
I thought it
No,
was.
the beast
wrapped it up with a living rope.
Took Axe. Yeah, but the
Maybe
ropes
she
got
got-
pulled back up into the beast's body, remember?
I was
And
very
then it wrapped
Yeah,
up.
she got
and
a-
it wrapped
Yeah.
Okay.
up Axe.
Okay.
Took
Maybe
Axe.
she got a few steps away on
Yeah.
her hind legs.
I was very thrown by the living ropes.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Which-
did kind of fry you.
Again, are snakes.
Or vines.
Technically true.
Intestines.
Intestines.
Tentacles.
Yeah, octopus.
Testicles.
Cephalopods.
Testicles. Yeah.
Oh.
What do yours look like?
Moving on. So Rachel in Bear Morph tangled with the dust beast, I said. She came out of it alive, but she couldn't use her front paws. That's the way it looks, Tobias said. The bear tracks stopped down by the stream maybe 1,000 yards from here. After that, I don't see anything.
Real quick, I just want to say, Lyme disease can be no joke. But what if mime disease was a thing?
I'm gonna get a beer.
And you still got it from a tick?
Yeah.
Every mime, can you get me one too? Every mime has been.
And we can't use it on the sketchy show because it's all audio?
Oh, wait a minute. I just thought of something. Lyme disease can affect your vision. That's what happened to the bear's vision. That's why this bear has dim vision.
That makes total sense.
Ticks have already gotten to it.
The bear she touched had Lyme disease.
So K.A. Applegate, you are back in the winter circle.
She did too much research. Anyway, she must have morphed back to human. Which way did she go? Marco asked. Upstream? Downstream? Tobias came to rest on a branch. I don't know. I looked. I didn't see her. I should have gotten here sooner. I should have known when it let you two go that it was going off after her. Whose chapter is this? Jake? Okay. Tobias, no one understands this monster. You couldn't have known what it would do. None of us could, I said. It sounded reasonable. Oh, Tobias is Batman, Jake's Superman.
Oh.
That makes total sense to me.
That's it.
It sounded reasonable, but in my mind I was thinking
What
that I
does
should have
Superman
known.
sound like? Does he doesn't have a distinctive voice, does he?
Just think the phrase Big Blue Boy Scout.
I mean, I know his vibe. I just don't... I'm just asking. He doesn't have a voice like Batman has his voice.
He doesn't have a voice like Batman, but he's just like, he's a nice guy.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Big, muscly, nice
He's
guy.
a big, nice man.
Big, nice man.
That's Superman for you.
It sounded
and
reasonable.
yet Batman's the one that doesn't kill people.
But in my mind, I was thinking that I should have known. I should have guessed. What's Axe's story in all this? I asked. Blaming myself was not the point right now. Who's talking? Axe was coming to meet us. He sees the fire, goes to investigate it. Maybe then he sees Rachel. Or Rachel and Bearmorph. Were they both here at the same time? I don't know, Marco said. Maybe. Lots of Andalite tracks all together here. Then look, they just stop. Right here. No Andalite sent past this point. It's like he was just lifted up and carried away.
I love that story.
I know you are, but what am I?
I'm rubbing your glue.
Tobias said, so he gets here, sees Rachel and the beast going at it. Axe is a brave guy. He jumps into it.
He really is Batman.
Rachel gets away.
Wait,
She's
which
bloody.
one's which? I need to write it down.
Tobias is Batman, Jake is Superman.
Yeah. Axe is a brave guy. He jumps into it. Rachel gets away. She's bloody, but she gets away. I like to imagine a little hawk walking around a crime scene.
Yeah. Just like...
Excuse me, sir. Did you have that piece? There was a piece of meat just laying there. I'm sorry.
Just one more question.
Yeah, I was just going to say the hawk turns to you. Oh, just one more thing.
Oh, yeah, one more thing. Yeah. And he gets in his Peugeot and drives away.
Oh, my God.
Brings up his wife that you never see. I love Columbo.
Does Columbo have a wife that you never see?
Yep.
I did not know that.
Until
The one where they're on a cruise?
no, there was a season of Mrs. Columbo.
Mrs.
There was a season of an NBC
Was it just
show.
him with a bow on his head like Mrs. Pac-Man?
Do you know who played Mrs. Columbo?
Angela Lansbury.
No, I believe it was Kate Mulgrew.
I
know
do
that
remember
name.
now. It was Kate Mulgrew, and it was early in her career.
Remind me who she is.
Captain Janeway from Star Trek Voyager.
Oh, no shit.
The love interest from Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins, I think was the name of it.
A great movie
I don't know that one, but I know who you're talking about.
with the infamous Joel Grey as
A
Chun.
Korean man.
Oh, boy.
He
is
can
not
play
Korean.
anything. Joel Grey can play anything.
I get so happy for Chris when someone's on the show that knows his references. Otherwise, we're just like, okay, whatever you say about Columbo.
I appreciate you, Clint.
Yeah, I got your back, brother.
This is not the first or last time Chris has talked about Columbo.
Which, I mean, Poker Face, great adaptation.
It sure is. Yeah.
I
Second
love Poker
season's
Face.
like tomorrow, I think.
Oh my god.
From when we're recording this. I love Poker Face.
All right, so what was Tobias saying? And Axe? Why isn't he still here? Or else why don't we see a separate set of Andalite tracks leaving? Or at least see his body? I'm getting better at the Batman voice every fucking time. No one said anything. We all feared the worst. I was remembering what the beast had done to Darlene's house and to the trees. Maybe it didn't leave bodies behind. Maybe there was no body left after it was done.
I have a
Andalites are
question.
tough.
That doesn't matter at all.
Sure.
So, when Rachel morphs back into Rachel, is the bear paw still going to be lying on the ground somewhere? Or does that just vanish?
Oh yeah.
We've
Well,
never.
no, I
we've
think
never
it ate it.
Talked about
Pieces of it, maybe.
If the paw was still there and wasn't eaten by the dust monster, would it just vanish?
I just think it would vanish because they heal when they morph, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So she would grow back
She would
a hand.
morph without a hand and grow the hand back.
Yeah.
And they kind of described it like she basically shoved her hand into a belt sander, so it just kind of like
Oh yeah.
disappeared.
I guess it wasn't like a
Gosh.
thin,
Yeah.
slice.
If only Carl Sagan were still alive, we could ask him these deep Animorph science questions.
so many
Billions
questions.
and billions of Animorphs science questions. Yeah, I got a Sagan. All right.
All right, that's all I wanted to know.
You just want to know if there's a disembodied,
disembodied
bear
bear
paw
paw.
and bear arm
Yes.
in the woods with Rachel's DNA in them.
Well, I was thinking like, don't they see the paw? But I forgot it was like
In a wood
spelt
chipper.
In a wood chipper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Andalites are tougher than they look, Tobias said. I'm with Axe a lot out here in the forest. Where we
Axolotl.
both live.
Axolotl.
Jinx.
Don't write them off. Yeah, I agreed, trying to sound hopeful. We've been in Morph a long time. We need to use what time we have left to get to civilization and morph back. I have to at least check in with my folks, or they'll have the cops out looking for me.
We can't just stop looking, Go said. Tobias only has an hour of good light left. After that, there won't be anyone trying to find Rachel or Axe. I'll use that hour, Tobias said. He opened his wings and flapped wearily back up into the sky. I'll take you to Falcone.
Falcone!
Yeah, well, sorry.
I'm happy with any Batman voice. I'm so easy to please.
We'll come back tonight, I told Marco. Have dinner with your dad, and then we hook up at Cassie's barn.
Yeah, everyone go act cool in front of your parents and then go find your kidnapped friends.
Try not to look
in the
like
dust
you've
tornado.
just seen basically like war crimes.
Yeah.
Jake, what's going on? Marco asked me as we trotted swiftly back toward the road. Is this the Yerks? No, it's Acne, Marco. No, who else could it be? I asked. But look, if it's them, then we know who we are. I mean, this thing came right after me and Axe. It went after Rachel. It went after me and you. It knows who we are. So why don't the Yerks just move in on us? Why not show up at our homes? That's the question, I agreed. We had reached the road. The bus would come by soon. It was time to demorph. That is exactly the question we need to answer. Yeah, that and the question of where Rachel is and why she doesn't go home. And one more question, I added, as I felt my human body emerge from within the wolf. How do we stay alive?
Here, read.
Where's Cassie? Oh, we'll find out now.
Oh, okay.
But where is she? I don't remember.
I also don't remember
what her mission was.
There's a lot of product placement coming up.
Oh,
Just
okay.
want you to know.
Wow.
Clint, do you want to read this page also, since that one was short?
Sure. Okay.
Also, I love the voice you're doing for Jake because it sounds less like Superman to me and more like Adam West Batman.
Ooh.
That was kind of my intention, old chum.
Yeah,
Um,
and I love it.
so two
Some
Batmans
days
in the
you
same
just
show.
can't get rid of a bomb.
It's two Batmans, but it's two very different Batmans.
Love it.
Radio Shack. August Woman.
What the fuck is that?
What is August Woman?
What?
Was that August Woman, Medicine Woman? No. Anyway,
August.
Godiva, The Gap, Mrs. Fields,
Jesus Christ.
Casual Corner,
The
B.
Limited.
Dalt, Penny Shoes, Banana Republic.
Oh my
All
God, the 90s, the
I've
90s.
shoplifted from. Oh, bright lights, color signs, the smell of cinnamon buns, the mall. Yuck. And worse yet, the mall on a Saturday evening. It was crowded, it was loud, but the mall was the place to look for Rachel. Jake, Marco, Tobias, and Axe had all gone to oh, I know who Cassie is. Cassie's the Earth. Okay, Cassie is what's the hippie ghost from Ghosts? Flower.
Okay.
Jake, Marco, Tobias, and Axe had all gone to the spot where the ice cream truck attack had taken place. Jake had asked me to look in all the other places she might have gone. He said I'd know best where she hung out. Maybe that was true, but it bothered me a little. It could be a little sexist on Jake's part.
And the
Or
first
maybe
place she went
he-
was Radio Shack.
Yeah. Or
Well,
maybe he
Rachel's-
was trying to
Rachel's a techie.
protect me. Either way, it bothered me. I didn't want special treatment because I was a girl. Jake would never even think about something like that with Rachel. It bothered me for another reason, too. It bothered me because a part of me was just a little relieved. I was safe in the mall. Who knew that what Jake and the others were dealing with out in the forest? I told myself I wasn't glad to be safe. I told myself I was just doing what needed to be done. But the possibility that Jake was in danger while I was safe gnawed away at me. It's because you told Jake about this stupid dream, I realized. Now he thinks you're losing it. Not a surprise, is it? Tell a guy you're having nightmares where you face evil and choose who it kills, and he's going to maybe think you're losing it? Just the same, Jake was right. I knew the places Rachel might go.
Did she describe a dream in this book, or was it in a different book? And do I not remember
it was
that
probably
happening?
this book, and I probably thought, I don't know if this matters or not, and
Yeah.
didn't write it down.
It was a real Cassie's choice.
I had already checked out the gym where Rachel did gymnastics and the frozen yogurt place where she always ordered key lime pie flavor. I checked that sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
I checked school. I don't know why I had a problem with that. Just because that's where she should have caught the bus. And I had scoped out her house, even though her sister said she wasn't there, which left the mall. What voice were you doing for Cassie?
I was just kind of trying to do like an earthy kind of.
Okay, I can do yeah.
Makes sense because she lives at an animal shelter.
Yeah. Wait, is that her? I muttered to myself. I stood on tiptoes to see better. No, it was some other blonde girl. I don't know why that's funny. I am not a shopper. To me, shopping is something you do when you have to. For Rachel, it is an art form. If she wasn't at home, she should be here. That doesn't line up with the Rachel I feel like we know.
No.
Because the Rachel we know is a psycho.
She's
with a death wish.
She's like a wild card.
Yeah. But I guess she also
She's
loves
like
shopping.
throwing herself into danger all the time.
Hey, teenagers have so many facets,
That's
man.
true. Yeah, they are layered. Rachel? I called loudly to a girl passing by, but as soon as I did, I knew it wasn't
Like
her because
20 teenage girls turned their heads because this was the 90s.
I know. Yeah. Yes. Sorry. I thought I knew you. Then suddenly, someone I did know, someone I definitely knew, Chapman.
Oh.
Chapman! Our 15th Batman reference of the show.
He appeared suddenly in front of me, carrying a shopping bag from one of the department stores and heading toward the B. Dalton bookstore. I do
Right
really...
now, in K.A. Applegate's house, she's going, honey, did we get that check from B. Dalton yet?
They went out of business? When? I love how Cassie was like, the mall, yuck, and yet name-dropping all of those places that don't exist anymore, but I do remember from the mall. I'm like, aw, that's so nice.
Except for August Woman.
Except for, yeah, did you look up August Woman?
Yeah, it looks like it's still a store, and it looks like they actually sell the kind of hippie clothes that I think Cassie would like.
Oh.
Just like big flowy
Flowy,
linen.
like
Like
flat- yeah.
expensive, but like flowy, shapeless linen clothes.
Like just stuff my mom wears, kind of.
Kinda.
Yeah.
Just, yeah,
Like hippie linen
earthy,
stuff.
hippie.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes that sponsorship for the podcast.
But she's like a cool, witchy.
Yeah. My mom's an
loves
old
her
hippie.
garden. Yeah.
I would name it Shawls and All.
Shawls and all. That's good.
See, now that's a sketchy show
That
idea
is-
we could actually use.
Oh, yes. I love it. Chapman! If this dust creature was linked to the Yeerks, he would know. Chapman was our assistant principal at the school. Isn't that called vice principal? Sorry.
Yes.
He was also one of the highest-ranking controllers. The slug who lived inside his brain was an important Yeerk. I love that sentence. That's a really just fully straight-faced Chapman would know. Following him had to be more useful than just wandering around the mall and yelling Rachel at every blonde girl I saw. But how?
Rachel!
Jesus Christ.
We have to stop doing different Batmans. Just kidding.
Never!
I know. But how? Morphing in a crowded mall would be dangerous. So what? I reproached myself. So don't do something stupid just to prove you aren't scared, I argued with myself, because I was going crazy. While I was debating with myself, I fell into step a few yards behind Chapman. I had already made up my mind. I just had to decide how I was going to spy on him. Housefly. Housefly.
Oh, this is going to be great.
Yes, that was the thing. A quick morph, hook onto Chapman, and stay with him for as long as I could remain in morph. You're gonna get on him?
Gross.
I would have gone with Tick.
She's gonna get
Slowly
swatted.
take him down
but
while you're at it.
Yeah.
In the 90s sense,
Yeah.
not the now sense.
Oh, yeah.
As if it wasn't Cronenberg enough in here.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Get ready.
I'll turn into a fly, but not the
Brundlefly.
kind you yeah.
Hopefully she makes it all the way. Chapman was in the bookstore, thumbing through magazines. How long would he stay in the bookstore? Long enough? Maybe. And where could I morph without being seen? I went to the back of the store. There was a storeroom with a door ajar. Inside the storeroom was a second door, a bathroom for the employees. Bingo. I glanced at Chapman. He had moved to the history section. What on earth did a controller want with history? I swallowed hard and slid into the storeroom, acting like I belonged, but also moving quickly. No one was around. I went into the tiny employee's bathroom and locked the door. I took off my shoes and outer clothing and stashed them in the trash under a lot of wadded up paper towels. I would have to come back for them later.
Gross.
I just feel like they she could have gotten away with never mentioning the clothes, because having a scene where they have to take off their outer clothes all the time is weirder than just not mentioning it.
Also, I guess this is true, but like, so every single day one of these kids wakes up, the first thing they do, like,
It's
I
like
guess
put
they
on
probably
a
take a shower
latex bodysuit.
and then put on spandex.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, it's gotta suck when they go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's in the bathroom. And what'd she do? She had to take off all her clothes.
Yeah.
There
such a
has to have
pain.
been at least one time where, like, one of them were like, I forgot. Guys, you're just
Yeah.
going to see everything. Like, I got to take the clothes off, but I forgot the spandex. And
Or how long until they figured out, like, oh, no, if it's touched our skin, we're good. We don't gotta get
Yeah.
naked anymore.
Then,
when the spandex starts to wear out, they have to get new spandex.
yeah. Like, explain that to your parents why you're buying so much
Going
spandex.
through so much.
We're all in gymnastics
I was gonna say,
together.
we all have to enroll in a dance class.
Yeah.
And technically, that's called spandextra. So,
Then I focused. It wasn't easy because my heart was pounding, and I really didn't like insect morphs much. I focused on the fly and prayed no one broke into the bathroom. Why would they? You know? You don't have to think about that.
Gotta go!
All the other stalls are full, and it's bad.
Yeah, just kick the door down.
Just like knock. Anyone in here? That sounds like squelching.
Ew.
hey, I was in the infield once at the Kentucky Derby, and you do not want to break into that bathroom. Trust me.
You have to think they're not seeing legs under the stall.
Yeah. I felt
Not
giddy.
for long,
I
anyway.
was gonna say they
Yeah.
are, but then it gets real gross.
Yeah.
Now they always gotta carry around prop feet to put in
Ew.
bathrooms for when they morph.
I was just reading ahead. I hate reading
hate
the
reading
morph
morphs,
scenes.
yeah.
They're so gross. I wasn't afraid. Not too afraid anyway. Even Rachel would have been impressed. I began to shrink. It's very weird when you morph into something tiny. 1 minute your head is like 4 feet above the floor. Then suddenly your head is only 2 feet above the floor. Then 1 foot. 6 inches, 1 inch, etc. You get the point.
Yep, shrinking.
It's like falling. And it seems like the floor is rushing up to slap you. I mean, that linoleum seemed to be alive the way it swooped up at me. It was like being a skydiver spiraling down to earth. But there were other very disturbing things happening too. There's nothing human about a housefly. Everything has to change. Everything.
You got the tame part. I'm gonna get the
I
gross
know, you're
part.
going to get the gross. I get one gross
you
thing
just
and
had
you're
the
going to get the
vertigo.
rest. I still have to hear it. My hands begin to split open.
Ugh.
2 of my fingers grew out and became sharp claws. 2 other fingers and my thumb blossomed open.
Ew! Ew!
Splitting into thousands of tiny sticky hairs.
Oh, why would it happen like that?
Like you do.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that used to scare me to death when we first started morphing. Let me tell you, the worst horror movie you ever saw in your life is a joke compared to actually watching your own body turn into something else.
Yep.
Morphing is almost never pretty. The others all say I'm the best morpher, that I can make it look okay.
They don't know I'm
nothing-
screaming
no, it's
inside.
totally cool when you do it, Cassie.
Some great ratings coming up. But nothing can make a fly okay. Look okay. There are no Brad Pitt flies. Flies are ugly-looking creatures. Nasty, ugly, gross, disgusting creatures.
Ugly,
Tell us how you
ugly,
feel,
ugly
Cassie.
flies.
Why didn't she turn into a ladybug if she wanted to be a hot bug?
She wanted to be a hot bug.
There's
My
other
legs were-
options.
Oh my god.
My legs were shriveling down and turning into fly legs. Sploot is the actual onomatopoeia in the book, and it's italicized with an exclamation mark.
Ugh.
2 new legs exploded from my chest, just at the bottom of where my ribs had been. The legs shot out of me like huge black worms. They grew dagger-like hairs and formed joints and became as hard as plastic. And my face, well, that was definitely unpleasant. My nose split open, forming 2 halves. Each half began sprouting long, sensitive hairs. My mouth and tongue melted together, then grew huge, forming a long tube with an open, spitting, sucking hole on the end.
This is
My eyes
horrific.
seemed to shatter like a mirror broken into 1,000 pieces. My vision was gone for a moment, and I was blind. Then it came back, but was so different I almost didn't realize it was sight at all.
It was compounded.
I had gone from human eye to compound eye.
Oh!
Where once my vision was a single picture, now it was 1,000 bits.
Bits.
It was like watching TV with your nose right against the screen while you twist the color control knobs.
That's not bad. But do they even make screens like that anymore?
No!
No, they do not.
That's a reference as dated as B. Dalton.
Yeah.
The bits formed pictures, but the colors were all wrong. At last, I was done morphing.
Thank God.
I was a fly. It is true, I guess, that I am a little faster at morphing than the others. Even Axe. I know it's kind of a stupid thing to be proud of, but I am.
I would be proud of it because I would never want to deal with it. Like, get the shit done.
Everybody says that about Cassie. She's a fast morpher. I beat my powerful wings, let go of my grip on the tiny ridges in the linoleum, and escaped from the bathroom by zooming neatly beneath the crack of the door. Once out, I shot quickly up for altitude and safety and headed for Chapman. Want me to keep going?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was barely anything.
The dust beast carried me up and up. I could feel gravity tugging at me. I could feel momentum as we moved faster and faster. I could see nothing. I could only hear a swirling sound. We began to slow down. Slower, slower. Stop. The dust beast hovered. How high up were we? Where were we?
Oh, this is Axe. I was like, wait, what's going on?
Then a gap opened in the howling wall of dust that enveloped me. I saw the Earth below, but not from orbit. We're still in the atmosphere. That surprised me. What I saw next did not. It was not a large ship by most standards. It was far smaller than an Andalite dome ship. Far smaller than the Yerk mothership. It was all black, with 2 wings like a battle axe and a long, sharp, diamond-shaped battle bridge mounted at the front. I knew the ship. It was the Blade ship. The private command ship of Visser 3.
Oh, my God.
It had dropped its stealth cloak for just a few moments. Silently, a hole appeared in the top of the battle bridge. The dust beast swirled through. Suddenly, I was falling. Slam! Hit a hard surface. My hooves scrabbled to stand up, but I was down on my side. The dust beast had dropped me on a polished metallic floor. I stood up. The dust beast hovered above me. And all around me, on all sides, stood Hork-Bajir warriors. Each one with a Dracon beam leveled and ready to fire. Just as I expected would happen.
I love these words. I love these words.
And remind me, are Hork-Bajir, they're the ones that look like tardigrades?
Tardigrades, yeah.
Okay.
That's the best way I think we can describe them. They're
The
giant
warrior
tardigrades.
race enslaved by the Yerks.
They're tardigrades with guns.
How do you spell Bajir?
Bajir.
Okay, thank you both.
You remember the guy from Deep Space Nine? The doctor on Deep Space Nine.
I think it was in the last episode, and I have no recollection of this because it was all chaos, but then I was editing it the other day, and there was a section where I think Marco was doing an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression, and it was Chris talking, or Chris reading. And I had you say Hork-Bajir as Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's just like, it's chef's kiss. It's,
Come on, Chris, lay it on me.
All right, hold on. I got to get into it.
Yeah.
Hork-Bajir!
Good. Yep, that's a winner.
Very satisfying.
It's like that. Those 2 words were written for Arnold Schwarzenegger to say. Hork-Bajir.
Oh my God.
Makes me laugh so hard. Oh boy. Okay. There must have been 10 of them. 2 or 3 would have been plenty. Once, the Hork-Bajir were a decent, peaceful race, even though they looked the way they did. Then they were enslaved by the Yerks. Hork-Bajir are incredibly dangerous and very powerful. They stand on 2 legs, balanced by a tail. Each leg ends in a foot.
Oh wait, they're
like
not
they
the
do.
tardigrades, they're like the dinosaurs.
Oh.
Were the Helmacrons like the tardigrades?
They might be.
Oh.
Yeah, they're like these kind of dinosaur looking.
Oh, with the long neck.
Yeah, like upright lizards.
What are the ones?
Carnivore Gallimimus.
I swear to God, there's one of these fucking aliens in these books that looks like a tardigrade.
Wait, what was the other thing called?
Helmicron.
Helmicrons?
No, the Helmicrons are the little tiny guys.
But are they tiny tardigrades?
No, I don't know.
Oh no, they look fucking crazy.
The
I didn't know
Helmicrons?
they look like that.
We got to read another Helmicron book.
It would make sense that the Yeerks look like tardigrades.
There's something I don't remember, guys. It doesn't matter.
Seeing? They look like little tiny people with 4 legs.
Who the Helmicrons?
Helmicrons.
If you've ever read the Malazan books,
Yes. They're on a shelf behind me.
Oh my
course.
goodness!
the Kachan
You're my
Shamal.
best friend, Clint.
The Kachan Shamal.
Yeah.
Yep. So you're a bridge burner? All right.
Oh, yeah.
These two guys, man.
Also a member
We're
of
going to
Bridge
get
4.
engaged before the end of the episode.
I'm just glad Chris has someone.
I know. I'm very
We
happy.
are always letting him down.
Good
I'm
down
a
the
Bridge
playmate.
burner. I'm a member of Bridge 4.
Man, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed now.
I'm so.
I have Hitchhiker's Guide tattoos on my forearms.
This is what Helmicrons look like, apparently.
Oh God, they look like a person's torso on a hand.
Yeah, a bunch of little finger legs.
That's awful. Okay, we'll figure out what I'm thinking of later. Once the Hork-Bajir were a decent. I already read this part. They stand on 2 legs balanced by a tail, and each leg ends in a foot, like an earth bird of prey. They have 2 arms. There are curved blades at their knees, at their elbows, at their wrists. Blades similar to my own tail. Atop their snake-like heads are 2 more blades swept forward, and their tails end in long, sharp spikes.
Wait, what are we talking about? I should have been
God,
listening,
the
but I was looking at
Hork-Bajir.
tardigrades. Okay.
The Kachan Shamal.
Gotcha.
They are not a species you want to start a fight with, which may be why they were such a peaceful, even poetic species. I want to hear some Hork-Bajir poetry.
They are horrifying looking. What is he talking about?
To blade today
Andalites
is to
look
blade
kind
tomorrow.
of poetic. But the Hork-Bajir are just straight up horrifying looking.
They are monsters. That looks like
they
a
look
Chuck
very sharp.
Tingle cover.
I know. This cover looks very pornographic. I don't know if you can... I can't see the camera.
Yeah, hold it up
I can
closer.
see it.
There you go.
I don't know what book this is.
The one's gonna ravage the other.
Yeah, it's called In Love with My Hork-Bajir.
It's called the Hork-Bajir Chronicles.
Is that a euphemism?
It all is.
Oh my god.
They are not a species you want to start a fight with. I already read that part. God damn it.
Andalite, more like damn delight.
Jesus Christ. Again, sometimes I really wish I had titles for these episodes.
It's never too late to start.
They had no one to fear until the Yeerks began to make them into controllers. Now, there are no longer any free Hork-Bajir.
Oh.
All are slaves of the Yeerks. All are controllers with a living Yeerk inside their brains. Oh, it sucks.
Yeah.
2 or 3.
But we would like to thank Basil Exposition for stopping by for the last 7 paragraphs.
2, I honestly though, because I can never. We've read the same exact information 1,000 times, and I'm still just like, wait, what? Oh, right, okay.
It's finally
What's really sad
beginning
is
to
I
sink
just
in.
now got the joke of Basil Exposition's name from the Austin Powers movie.
Just now? Yeah, that's amazing.
Glad I could help.
I just thought it sounded British.
Exposition.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
awesome.
I've told people for years I am the dumbest smart guy you will ever meet.
Oh man, 2 or 3 would have been more than enough to deal with me. Having 10 there was a compliment. Well, a voice said in my head. So, we have our first captive! It was him, as I had known it would be. Visser 3. Third most powerful of all the Yeerk warlords. So is
What
there...
I guess there's a
Specific
Visser 1 and a
title.
Visser 2.
Visser 1 and Visser 2 has to be, right?
I had no idea that's why he was called Visser 3.
I know.
That's awesome.
I never really stopped to think about it.
when you said it.
I had no no idea. Oh, that's even better. The leader of the Yeerk invasion of Earth. An abomination. Visser 3 is unique in all the galaxy. The one and only Andalite controller. He alone, of all Yeerks, has managed to take and enslave an Andalite body. The sight of him filled me with loathing. My brother's killer. The creature I knew I had to destroy. If I didn't, I would never have the honor of being a true warrior. I had faced him before, but always with my human friends beside me. To have attacked the Visser then would have meant risking them, but now I didn't have the excuse. Visser 3 was before me, my brother's killer. This is awesome. So now he's like, my friends aren't here, so I'm gonna go psycho on you.
Yes. Visser 3 focused his main eyes on me. His stalk eyes watched the dust beast as it hovered uneasily above our heads. I am ashamed to confess it, but I felt terror in his presence. Evil radiated from him, and a power, a great and frightening power. You're not even full-grown, Andalite, Visser 3 sneered. My Valik brings me a child.
There you go.
Valik, I said. At least he doesn't know either.
Okay, good.
Yes, I named it myself. In the Yeerk language, it means pet.
Oh, the dust monster.
Dust tornado. Excuse me. Whoa.
Excuse
No.
me. Excuse me.
Whose
Sorry.
voice even was that?
Our speaker just spoke in a voice we've never heard before.
It was a man's voice that wants to play roundabout. What was it?
What's the cops, babe?
It's what?
What is it playing?
So what? It's going like bound, 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 bound.
I think it's roundabout.
Bound.
Roundabout. I don't know. You'll see.
Really
In
slow
and
voice.
around the
Do you
lake.
know the band that did that song?
Yes.
Good for you. Guess who that band was?
Was it Guess Who? No.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Roundabout?
Hey, you don't know who?
I do.
Yes.
Yes.
The name of the band is Yes.
Who?
The Guess Who?
What?
You don't know
The
this
Guess
song?
Who?
Third base.
Oh my god.
That was strange.
What did I say that even sounded like that? And what man voice was our speaker using?
Super great question.
It was the Valik. What is happening? Yes, I named it myself. In the Yeerk language, it means pet. It's a rare life form from right here in the solar system. The big gas giant, the one with the very prominent rings. Saturn. That's what the humans called it. But I said nothing to the Visser. Answering might have revealed that I was in contact with humans. Visser 3 considered me. So you are an Andalite after all. Some of my advisors have been suggesting you terrorists were human, not Andalite. But here we have a prime Andalite specimen. The Yeerks...
Plot development.
I know, I'm like, something's happening and I can't take notes because I'm reading. The Yeerks believe that Animorphs were a group of Andalites who had survived the battle in orbit and made it to Earth. It was important for them to go on believing that. Yeerk filth! I cried suddenly. My uncles will destroy you!
My uncles?
My uncles!
That's awesome.
One of them's a Navy SEAL.
He's vamping.
He can totally kick your ass.
He's doing improv.
Yeah. I'm picturing, when he says my uncles, I'm picturing other Andalites, but all with mustaches.
Yes. One of them's holding a Bud Light.
Yes! One of them's grilling.
And they get drunk every Thanksgiving.
One of them is giving younger Andalites a spiked punch and saying, "Shh, don't tell your mom."
Yeah.
And pulling quarters out of their ears.
Visser 3 laughed. You and your uncles have caused me some annoyance. It is true. Sorry.
Don't say that right when I take a drink.
Uncle's already a funny word.
Uncle is such a funny word.
For people to be, like, yelling at each other, like they're gonna kill each other and yell the word uncles. It's great. You
I
destroyed...
feel like that happens a lot.
You and what uncles?
You and what uncles?
Uncle!
You destroyed the truck ship we used to gather oxygen and water. That was very unfortunate. What? Maybe that was a different book.
What?
I don't know. And you destroyed our ground-based Candrona. That was
Has to
even
have been.
more
Yeah.
unfortunate. Yes, that was really
do-
terrible
I-
when that happened, and
I
we
do
all know
remember
about that.
Kandrona rays are the things that I think the Yeerks need to live.
Oh,
They get them, I think, from the Yeerk pools. I remember Kandrona rays being a thing.
he stepped closer, showing his complete confidence, showing me that he did not fear me. For that I will give you a very, very long, very slow death, Andalite. I wanted to strike at him, my brother, Prince Elfangor. He would have had the courage, but I did not. The Hork-Bajir would have disintegrated me before I could twitch my tail. Wow, what
the
just
awful-
happened? I said all those words, but I don't know what I said.
I got nothing.
And the awful force of the Yeerk Visser's power held me mesmerized. Yes. You let us chase, you Andalite bandits, Visser
Bandalites.
said.
Bandalites!
Oh, missed opportunity.
We
Kay.
literally, I know we made that joke before.
Yeah.
I'm not even claiming. By the way,
But my Velik will capture you one by one and bring you to me.
I'm sorry, Chris, real quick. I just Googled Animorphs aliens, and I clicked on the first thing that came up that was list of alien species in Animorphs from the fandom
It's absurdly long, isn't it?
Seropedia, which I don't even know what that means, but it's Animorphs. It's separated into the alphabet. So it's like, here's all the A aliens, and then the B alien. It's two.
How many A aliens?
It's too fucking many. It's too many. There's too many aliens in these books.
It is definitely a saga.
Jeez, that's an Andalite. Gotcha. Gotcha, Chris. Spit
That is
tape.
great.
Uncle Tanous is here.
Look at this picture of just some of them. Just
Aw.
some of them. Oh my god.
That's awesome.
Okay, sorry. Go on.
If I lacked the courage to attack and die, I could at least try to learn more. If I lived, if I escaped somehow, by some miracle. How do you make a controller out of something made of dust? Where do you place your filthy slug body?
What do you do with a problem like Maria?
Where do you place your
Oh.
filthy slug body?
The Velik is not one of us, Visser 3 said. He is not a controller. He's not really he. There is no intelligence there, or at least not much. Fascinating life form, really. Unlike anything we've ever found before. It spreads through the atmosphere as a dust. Each particle can sense life form energy, any life form. When one particle senses prey, the millions of particles come together to attack the life form and chew it into shreds.
Taxon.
The energy...
That's the tardigrades.
Thank you.
Taxon.
I knew
The
there
energy.
was a gross one.
of each shredded
one.
bit is then absorbed by the particles themselves. So because it's particles and it's a morph, it's they're going to reiterate it over and over again. Visser 3 laughed again, soundless but vile in my mind.
That was just for you guys.
So their mouths are moving. They're just looking at each other with no mouth movement. Oh, wait. I don't think Axe even has a mouth.
Yeah,
They're
don't.
just looking at each other.
So they're just looking at each other, and in their heads,
And in their heads, they're like,
me
me and my uncles.
and my uncles.
Maniacal laughter.
Wow.
We lost a lot of soldiers before we figured the creature out. Oh yes, it was chewing up Hork-Bajir and Taxons at a startling rate. But then we realized something. It could be altered. We could use the thing. I could program it to serve me. I nodded, understanding the truth.
That's one of us.
He's a lot smarter than us.
You changed it to detect only the energy of morphing. Very good. But you Andalites always have been clever when it comes to science. Yes. Now it detects only the specific type of energy released during morphing. But it cannot feed on that energy. Oh, no, no. I didn't want it to shred you, Andalites. I wanted it to eat you. I wanted it to have you here with me. So I programmed my Valik to eat only the energy we feed it from the engines of this ship. What? Clever, isn't it?
I don't...
The Valik
I'm going to read this note later and be angry.
The Valik senses morphing, attacks, but brings the morpher to me in order to get its true food.
I'm so...
So you like Pavlov's dog, this
yep.
dust monster.
Yes. I have two thoughts. Number one, I'm so happy Chris got that page and got to read
that was a
all
really
of
good
that
villain voice.
Villain shit. But also, we're like halfway through this book and we're already having like villain monologuing.
I was thinking that. This
Yes.
should be the last scene.
Yeah.
Villain monologue shouldn't happen in the middle.
Like, wow, what's going to happen next?
Only a Yerk would think it clever to force mutation on another life form, I said, as contemptuously as I could. Could I strike? Could I strike? Was I fast enough? Visser 3 nodded. May I have your permission, Chris, to put just a slight spin on your voice?
You're the guest. Go for it.
Yes, we lowly Yerks know how superior you Andalites are. Holier than thou. The meddling moralist of the galaxy, the glorious self-righteous Andalite princes, saving the galaxy from the despised Yerks. Well, here you are, Andalite child. And soon the rest of your group of bandits will be here as well. How many of you are there altogether?
How many uncles?
I'll tell you nothing about my uncles, he said. It doesn't matter, Visser 3 said with cold disdain. The Valik will never tire. I'll send it back, and it will go on hunting. Your friends will be clever. Sometimes they will escape for a while. But sooner or later, my Valik will hunt them down, and one by one bring them to me.
They're a featured player, and they really want to become a member of the cast.
I was literally thinking, oh, the spin he's putting on it is Lorne Michaels, and I was like, wait, no, it's Dr. Evil.
He jerked his hand in a signal to his soldiers. Throw him into the cage. Watch him. If he escapes, each of you will die. Oh, and have the Valik fed, then release it. Let it go and find me more Andalites. I wouldn't want our young Andalite to be lonely. Cork-Bajir grabbed me roughly. He kissed me. No, Visser 3, mind you, turned his back and walked away. I had not struck. I had been face to face with my brother's killer and let him walk away.
Oh my God. Ba, 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 ba. Wow. What a good cliffhanger.
Yeah.
For the next time.
So, is Rachel not up there?
No, Rachel.
No, didn't take Rachel.
Yeah.
We don't know what
I
happened
she
to
was
Rachel.
Up there.
I bet you do, Clint, because I bet you read the whole dang thing.
No, you want to? I will be
finish it
brutally
tonight.
honest with you. I stopped reading on the transforming into a fly and the hair springing out. I went, everybody out of the pool.
You're like, that's enough for me.
More than fair.
I imagine without 3 millennials interrupting your reading constantly, you could get through quite a book.
Well, it was after I had taken my Ambien, so I didn't really remember it all that well.
Reading an Animorphs book is just the metaphorical taking an Ambien.
Yeah.
It's a fever dream.
Can I add one thing?
Please.
I have to tell you, I really like K.A. Applegate. I mean, I'm being serious.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're having a little bit of fun here, but
Oh, yeah.
she has also written one of my favorite, and I guess it's young adult series. You may have seen the movie, The One and Only Ivan, The One and Only Bob. Did you ever see The One and Only Ivan?
No.
About the talking gorilla?
No.
And it is a wonderful series, and I'm not kidding. There's The One and Only Ivan, which they made into a movie. The One and Only Bob. There's The One and Only Ruby. The One and Only Family, and it continues the theme of animals for her. But they are charming. They are sweet. They are funny. They have a lot of action in them. They are really good.
Yeah.
And I think for what they are, these Animorphs books are good for what they are.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
anything
they're
that
good. They're
anything
just
that introduces
crazy.
young people to science fiction and fantasy and stuff. But the
Yeah.
one and only Ivan, one only Bob, Ruby family, it's an excellent series, and I think it's her most recent series.
We, like you said, we have a lot of fun on this show, and I think when we started doing this, we started kind of doing this on our old podcast, and then we spun it off into this. And it definitely, I think it started out a little more mean-spirited, and like not even like fully mean-spirited, but we were like taking the piss more out of these books. And I think
Sure.
as we've gone on and read more and more of these, it is like we will make fun of stuff and we'll like have fun, but we really love most of these books. Some of them have been,
Right.
there's been a couple of books where like, oh, that wasn't the greatest, but especially I think the last couple of years, most of what we've read has been amazing. Like,
Yeah.
even we got kind of burnt out a little bit on Sweet Valley High, but then we read Francine Pascal's other book series.
Yeah.
The last book we read was Fearless, and that was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
And K.A. Applegate is also, I think she's still writing, isn't she?
Oh yeah,
And-
the
and-
one and only Ivan is still coming out. Yeah, I believe she's still writing.
And
Disney did the one and only Ivan,
okay.
and it's got, believe it or not, voices by Sam Rockwell,
Oh,
Angelina Jolie, Bryan Cranston,
damn, that's a stacked
Uh,
cast.
Danny DeVito, Helen Mirren,
Wow.
because the animals all talk to each other.
Well, and K.A. Applegate is also a pretty big, I think, like pro-trans activist, which I've heard of like recently, and that's pretty awesome.
Makes sense too. I mean,
That's the thing is that I've read stuff, the last couple years or whatever, just of like the Animorphs, and it's like, well, you could kind of draw a line between what she was writing and then like her activism and everything being kind of pro-trans, which we need more of.
And she's won a ton of awards, and she's just a terrific writer.
That's awesome.
So if you get a chance, check out and I mean, even if it's a great read, whether you're a young adult like I am, or
Or
a
old
less
like
than-
Jonathan.
yeah.
or less than, and I can say that because K.A. Applegate is younger than me. So
No idea how
Awesome.
old she is.
I made a note.
That's awesome. You made a
Yeah.
note. Good. Okay, good.
There's always that moment when reading a book series when you like just fucking adore, and you look up the author and it's just like, oh, they're younger than me,
yeah.
which is
Yeah.
what I felt with Red Rising.
Oh God, how old is that guy?
I mean, only like a few years younger than me and Bekah, but at the same time, though, I was like, God damn it.
Well, put yourself in my place. All of them are younger than me now.
That's the joy of getting older. Is like every once in a while you're like, oh, this person's awesome, and they're very young. That's stings.
No, that's not a joy of being awesome.
There was a
Jonathan,
point
that's
in
not a joy.
The real joy is that there's always new authors.
There was
There's
a
always
point in
new
time where
series.
my dad would point out, like, oh, that guy on the Orioles is
Yes.
younger than you, but it's at the point now where he doesn't mention it because they are all clearly younger than me. Of course they're younger than me. If they're my age, they're retiring from sports.
Yeah, because they have
So
to be.
it's not even a look how old you are, they're younger than you. Now
Yeah.
it's, of course they're younger
There's no-
than you. We don't even mention it anymore.
There's no athletes over 35. You blow your
Of
limbs
course
apart.
they're all
Brady.
19.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, the end.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, the
Derek
the
Jeter
ones
still
that are
do
above
anything?
that age are like the pinnacle of whatever sport they're playing.
Yeah. They should retire and won't.
And they're they're being held together by steroids.
yeah.
Well, this was an absolute blast. Thank you so much for coming back on the show. What would you like to plug for people listening? I know you have a lot of stuff going on.
Well, we're back on tour. We got a lot of shows coming up. We are. When is this supposed to air?
This
When are you gonna-
will come out in 3 weeks because the first episode of this book is dropping on Friday, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, then in June we're going to be at the Origins in Columbus,
Okay.
Ohio. And to find out all those dates, themcelroy.family is where you go, and that's where you can get our merch, our tour schedule, updates on the 476 podcasts we are on. And we are launching a new arc on the Adventure Zone, and coming up in a few months. Let's see. Now I misspoke. Coming up soon will be our 6th graphic novel.
Oh,
awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I think we have the first 5.
Yeah, I need to finish
The last one.
the last one.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care if you read them, just buy them.
I know.
Yeah, we bought the first 5. Yeah.
I read most of them.
Buy them.
They're on the bookshelf.
Well, they make excellent gifts too.
Yeah.
So buy them your own.
They're so wonderful. It's so nice to relive that series.
Oh, yeah.
Through the graphic novels because I loved it so much.
I
am not ready to read the parts that made me cry again.
Jesus Christ.
Well,
but
they're
I will.
all in there.
I'll
Yeah.
read it, but I'll be
Clint,
mad about
I
it.
have a terrible confession to make.
Oh, Chris.
The only McElroy content I have seen is whatever John and Bekah have shown me.
Well, we have a really fun stream that you can get all caught up on, Chris. We do a live stream every Tuesday at noon called the McElroy Family Clubhouse.
It
Love
is
that
really
theme
fun.
song so much.
Yeah.
And
Oh, our
it's-
Miggy just shipped.
Oh, I forgot we bought a Mickey.
I literally got a notification today from U2's, and I was like, "What the fuck did I buy from U2's?" And I remember we bought the Miggy plush.
Yeah.
It's a blast. It's always fun.
So good.
And I do a series on there
Chris would love it.
Oh yeah.
called
Energy Dragon.
Air. I do air quality. Air quality, HEIR, where they answer questions, and whoever wins the most points wins something that I am really, honest to God, leaving them in my will.
Holy shit!
I
don't
think
think we've seen that one
segment.
yet.
I'm
So
now
far-
understanding the name.
So far, I have given away.
my God.
Justin won the first one. Justin won the. He won my complete and total music collection, which will be
Wow.
all my albums,
Christ.
CDs, 8-track tapes, cassette tapes, and all the signed music memorabilia
That's
I've
a lot of
collected over
stuff.
the years. And then the next one we did, Griffin won, and that was our theater-based one, where I had clips of them as kids in different plays, and then I had to identify them. And he won my entire theater collection, all my theater books, because I used to teach theater at Marshall, so I have over 120 textbooks, all my playbills, just something
That is
like 100 of those, a whole bunch of scripts, I got like 200 scripts, and a giant poster-sized painting of me as Frank Butler from Annie Get Your Gun. So nobody wanted that, but they wanted the script. And there'll be another one of those coming up around Father's Day, actually.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Holy shit! I don't know how we haven't
You
seen
go
every
to our-
I haven't
episode.
seen those.
Go to our
segments.
YouTube channel and
Yeah.
you can see them. They're all in there.
Say, but we've been
And,
watching them play Repo.
Yeah.
Lately.
Now I know what I'm watching when I'm done recording.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh my god.
Well, enjoy.
That's fantastic. Well, Chris, what would you like to plug?
I would like to plug The Sketchy Show, an improvisational comedy adventure that we want you to go on with us. Mm-hmm. It's just a lot of fun. There's a lot of recurring sketches, a lot of returning characters. So if you want to go back to the beginning and check it out, it's a fairly short episode. It's not a big time commitment. Just check it out.
And I'll plug real quick Casting Dreams. That's the Sega Dreamcast podcast that I do with my friend Patrick, where we take a deep dive into the history and the catalog of Sega Dreamcast. The first season is out for you to listen to. We talk about Sonic Adventure, Jet Grind Radio, D2, all the great hits. And we're coming back probably later this year for a second season. So if you're into video games, check that out. And you can follow Below Grade Level wherever you find podcasts. And you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and you can follow Cactus Rodeo, where we publish all of our podcasts on Facebook and YouTube. I think that's everything. Okay. That's so great. Clint, thank you so much for being our guest again. We love having you, and we can't wait to have you again. And everyone listening, thank you for listening, and we love you. Bye.
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 See ya.
Below Grade Level is a Cactus Radio production. You can contact us at podcast@cactusrodeo.com. Subscribe and follow on iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify, and follow Cactus Rodeo on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more entertainment and updates.